morning, my peepers. Welcome to Shalene's Creativity Room. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. What's going on today? Okay, so Sunday I did the live stream floss tube. So now I can tell you what I did Sunday and yesterday. So Sunday I worked on Halloween Dragon by Pink Lily Designs. I am up in this section here. And Sunday I put in 554 stitches. They were tent stitch, 2 over 1. So that's what I have. So I'm enjoying this. I won't be stitching on this in December, but I will next year. And I've enjoyed that. And I don't have to stitch any of the background. It's just the dragon. Also on Sunday I walked. I was on the channel YouTube Take a Hike. And it was a 20-minute beach walk. And then I walked again that night while watching Peter vlogs on YouTube. And Sunday I got in, I'm going to tell you every day how many steps I did. I'm shooting for 10,000 every day. So, let's see here, Fitbit. So Sunday I put in 9,638 steps for 4 miles, and I burned 2,181 calories. That was Sunday. Sunday I also watched a Lifetime movie, Christmas Every Day, that was on Saturday, and the Christmas Campaign, which was also on Saturday. Then I watched a Hallmark movie called An Alpine Holiday. That was on Saturday night. I did not get to watch the other Hallmark movie from Saturday night, which was A Grand Ole Opry Christmas. So I brought that over to yesterday. So also I watched Busy Mom Stitcher, Joanne the Eclectic Stitcher, and Peter Vlog. So I watched those on Sunday. So now I'm going to take this out because this is November. And I will put it in this. So that's my daily to-dos. Okay. I guess I took too many out at the same time. I shouldn't have taken them all out because they're hard to put in. There we go. Oh, nope. You gotta do a few pages at a time. There, that's better. I can take them all out, but I can't put them all back in at the same time. I do, though, have to take out, well, I can do that in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm on to yesterday. Yesterday I stitched on Christmas birds, but I only put in 225 stitches. That's Christmas birds. I do have it on Pattern Keeper. I believe this was a freebie. This is by Owl Forest Embroidery. They have a ton of freebies on their website. And I'm using, it calls for their own floss, but I'm using DMC Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Art threads. So yeah. And this is what I'm going to be stitching on all day today. Also yesterday, I stitched on Mill Hill Ginger Friends. That was after dinner. I didn't get a lot of stitching in yesterday, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So there's the Mill Hill Ginger Friends. I have almost all the cross stitching done. So right now, next Monday, I have to finish working the white threads in through here, in between the legs, but I did all the stitching everywhere else and here. So, and I even did across here last night and in here. So I just have this little bit left. Then I will do the back stitching and then add the beads. And I don't think there's a lot of back stitching. So yeah, I'm almost done with this. Yesterday I walked in place. I want to get a walking pad, but I don't know if it'll hurt my shins like a treadmill does, because a treadmill hurts my shins. And I know the doctors I've had have always said treadmills are the worst thing for your legs. So I would like to try a walking pad. So I watched on YouTube city walks, and I went on a walk in Vail, Colorado, and he did it at the end of July of last year. So it was 75 degrees. It was beautiful, and I'll tell you what, this village is like tourist. There are shops and bars and restaurants, and the amount of walking and biking trails was unreal. I was like, I want to go visit this place even in the summer. So that was 55 minutes long. I walked the whole time. And I didn't do that until after dinner last night, because it was a long day yesterday. So I did that. So I put in a total of 10,184 stitches throughout the whole day yesterday. YouTube last night, I watched 310 Stitcher, The Steadfast Stitcher, Peterisms, Adelaide Stitches, My Daily Hades, Peter Vlogs, Small Town Stitches, Peter Does Stuff. He did a candle haul on that. Peter's movie reviews, and Peter likes books. So there's a whole bunch of books that are advent calendar books, and you can purchase the book as a paperback or an ebook, and you read one chapter a day. He said they're cheesy, they're not the best writing. He has like 14 of them. He said some chapters only take 5 minutes, some are longer. So he had them all in a pile, and he just reads for December 1st the first chapter in each of them. I don't know if I could do that, because I am the type that likes to, I don't put down a book. I got to read the whole thing. And having that many and trying to keep track of the storyline, I don't know if I could do that. Now, I could do probably 2 books, and a lot of them that he showed are on Kindle Unlimited. The rest are, and they're all paperback. There was only, I don't think there were any as an audiobook. They were all paperback and Kindles. So, yeah, I will try a couple. I don't think this year, but I think next year. Also, the movie that he talked about on his movie reviews was on Netflix. called Jingle Bell Heist. He said it was okay. I did have my Craft and Clean Zoom, and I left it too. When I left, everybody left. It was just me and Deborah all the time. And then right when I was getting ready to leave, Robert came in, so I told Robert, I'm shutting down. I'm leaving anyways. And Deborah wasn't going to stay on. So he said, okay, so he left. And then last night I went into Crafts and Books. I was in there for like 2 hours, I think. I did not get any TV watching yesterday. So I have 3 movies and the show Tracker and General Hospital. And I'm debating whether to do that because I have a book to review on Friday and I haven't started it. So I planned on listening to that all day. So the movies might all be happening tomorrow instead. So yeah, today I still have to walk. I'll be stitching on Christmas birds all day. The book I have to read, and I can do text-to-speech, is The Wife's Revenge by Emma Talon. And those books aren't too long, so I'll listen to that all afternoon. Tonight's Zoom is Fun Day Stitchers. I want to start watching a Christmas movie every day that's not a Hallmark or a Lifetime. That hasn't happened yet. I still need to watch General Hospital from yesterday. I do have dishes to do, and today is to clean the kitchen. Okay, so that's all of that. Now, I'm going to start doing this if I remember. Today's tea, or this morning I should say, is Bigelow. It's a black tea. It does have caffeine, and this one is salted caramel. Some people say caramel. I say caramel. So that's the tea for today. I ordered 6 boxes. It was a holiday box. And then after I ordered it, the other flavors that I wanted were in the other box set. So you got all of these, but it didn't come. These came in a separate box. So like I have a box of just this and a box of the other, and then those boxes were in a box called the holiday box, where you could order a different kind of box where these were all loose in that with more different flavors. But that's okay. So I do have that, and I've had these already, and it's really good. Okay, so oncologist. I really liked the oncologist that I saw yesterday. So I made Scott go with me. I'm like, you need to go with me because sometimes he was so totally against chemo, and I was against the chemo, and I thought it was hormone replacement therapy. It's anti-hormone replacement therapy. But I still have one question, and I didn't think of it till after we left. So she explained why I needed the anti-hormone therapy. So I got the breast cancer from my estrogen. I have too much in my body, which is why they want to put me on the anti-hormone therapy. I still will go through menopause. I will end up going through menopause. So I'm not happy about that. I understood, though, why. Because it will cause breast cancer in the other breast. I get that. Okay. So then she's still waiting on a test to find out if I need chemo. If the number is 26 and higher, then I need chemo. If it's under 26, I don't need chemo. So she says, we're going to pray that it's under the 26. And she says, for some reason, she had a feeling it's going to be under 26. Okay. So my question, and I didn't think of it at the time, and she went into so much more detail than that last oncologist. Everything was all statistics. She wasn't like that at all. And she listened to me. She asked why I had her instead of the one I saw. And I said, because it was all statistics. I left there more confused than anything. I said, and I wanted a female doctor who deals with women's cancer. I said, and you know what hormone therapy does to a body and all that. I said, and you're not going to recommend doing that unless I absolutely need it. And she goes, oh, absolutely. She goes, I know what that does. And I bet you, she says she's been doing this for 15 years. I bet you she's right around 40. She's young. I really, really, really liked her. Scott thinks she's Filipino. I don't know. She was raised here. Her English, she had no accent. She was super, super nice. And she made sure the doors closed, and she said, this is your safe room. You're allowed to yell in here. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to scream. You're allowed to swear. You're allowed to be mad. Whatever your feelings are, it stays in this room. And so, you know, she's talking about the anti-hormone therapy because I have too much estrogen in my body, and that's what caused the breast cancer. I will go into, like I said, menopause. I'll be on it for 5 years. She says my mood swings are going to be up and down. I might be happy one day, mad or sad the next day. And she looked at Scott and she says, and you're going to have to deal with it. So she didn't put up with any of Scott's shit. And she gave him a bunch of shit. So it was funny. So she's talking to me and she says, and it might make you gain weight. And she could tell I was getting a little upset because I told her they took me off the Mounjaro. And since the surgery, I've gained back 18 pounds. I says, and I'm hungry all the time. And I want more than one serving of food. So I'm going back to my old ways of eating. But she has a feeling that they're going to put me back on Mounjaro. So she understood. So Scott started in on my eating. She goes, shush, shush, shush. This is her. This is her feelings. I can tell by looking at her face that she's getting upset. So she told him, shush. I loved it. I didn't laugh. I didn't say a word. I'm just like, thank you. Because he doesn't get it. He doesn't have an eating problem. He can eat whatever he wants. He doesn't gain anything. He's the same weight he was in high school, wears the same size jeans he wore in high school. He's skinny, no matter what he does. And he can sit down and eat a half a gallon of ice cream in 2 days. He'll eat sandwiches all the time. He eats whatever he wants. But he's also on his feet all the time. He's on the go all the time. He can't sit still. Even when he's home, he might sit for a while, but he's up and he can't sit still. He's got nervous energy. I think he has ADD or ADHD. I'm not sure, but he drives me up the wall. So, you know, she told him shush, and that it was, I'm going through this, and yes, he will go through it too, but he has to go by my moods, and he has to learn to deal with that. And it's for 5 years. So I got home, and I'm thinking, okay, the chemo, whatever the test is, and she explained all of this into detail. If the score is 26 or higher, that means that I am susceptible to cancer, maybe any other cancer. And that's what the chemo does. It kills anything in my body that will cause me to have the cancer, you know, whatever cells are in my body. Okay, now I get that. The genetic testing is to show if there's any cancer in my family, which there's not, it doesn't mean that there isn't cancer cells. Everybody has cells in their body. It depends on how your body is. That's how I took it, and she explained it. I got a lot of information yesterday, so I might not remember everything exactly, but we all have cells. It just depends on your body and how many of the cells you have. Okay, so the chemo will knock out any cancer. As long, it'll take care of those cells, but it goes by the score of my testing from the lump, I guess. So I get that. Okay, so I left there really positive. Scott felt much better about me getting chemo because he was totally against it. She explained to him why. Then I got home. It's like, well, if I do the chemo and it takes care of all those cells, do I still have to go on the anti-hormone because I have too much estrogen that caused the breast cancer? I'm not going to get the breast cancer again in the other breast if I do the chemo, right? So I have that question. I think that's the only question I have. Then once we make this decision and I start chemo if I need it, then I do the radiation. So the radiation, I get 16 treatments. And he says I'm there like 10 minutes. I'm in and out. So, yeah. Now, when I talked to a different doctor about radiation, they said I would be there for like an hour, but the radiation only takes 10 minutes. He didn't make it sound like that. He makes it sound like I go in, they do something. I know when I go see him next time, they mark a spot and they do something, and then, yeah. So I did not walk out of that room yesterday confused, full of questions. I just have the one question. Scott was much better. He's not going with me to the next appointment. Justin's taking me. Scott says he's out of vacation time. And yes, he can use the FML or whatever it's called, but it only pays 60%. So he doesn't want to use it. So I'm relying on other people to get me places. And thankfully, I would be going to Brockport, which is a little bit closer for me. She has 2 offices. I had to go to the one in Greece because that's where she was. That was the closest. So I see her again on the 17th. Yeah. Next week I have 2 appointments next week or just one? Just one. I see the radiologist next Wednesday. So, with that, finances. So, I got a thing from my insurance company from all the testings that I've done, my surgery, the date of surgery at the hospital, all my tests, the anesthesia, anything that I've had done up to seeing the oncologist. That bill was $26,000. My insurance covered all but $700 and something, so I got to come up with $700 something dollars. And yes, I can call and have, tell them it's a hardship and have it lowered. But when I was at the radiologist, they told me that there is a plan for several counties around me that will cover most of my appointments, my co-pays, if I need transportation, and it goes by the income in the house and how many people live there. And so we're on the borderline of them paying 80 to 90% of it. So I have a feeling that when this is all said and done, I'm going to be owing a little over $1,000. I know it's better than the 26 to 30,000 that it is, but and Scott says don't worry about it, we'll get through it. Yeah, now I know why people do fundraisers to raise money for this. And I know they don't turn you away, and so that's a good thing. Okay, that is it for today. I just wanted you guys to know how the oncologist appointment went. I was really impressed. I really, like I said, I really liked her. And, yeah. I'm sure the other oncologist is a good doctor. He just was not for me. And I told her that. And I told her when we left that I was really comfortable with her and that I appreciated her taking the time out to explain things better. And she didn't treat me like a statistic. So she felt really good about that. So, and I will need to see her like every 3 and 6 months for a while. Because I did ask that, how often I need to see her. And I don't know for how many years. I think she said for like a year or two. And then after that, it might be yearly. So I'm like, okay. And she says, and I looked to the last time you had that mammogram. I said, I know, don't yell at me. I've already yelled at myself. I already know I have to go every year. And I told her, I says, I was dealing with anxiety, and going to doctor's offices had caused so much anxiety that I stopped making appointments. I says, but my anxiety is almost gone. I said, through all of this, the surgery, all the doctor's appointments, not one time have I taken my anxiety meds. And she's like, well, that's really good. I said, yeah, because that's not me. I said, the last time I took an anxiety pill was when we left here to go to Indiana in September for the cross-stitch retreat. I didn't need it on the way home. Other than that, the other time I took it was when my mom and my sister and I go to a concert. I'll take it right before we go for the concert. I said, I was taking it 3 times a day. Now I'm taking it maybe 3 times a year. So that has improved a lot. And, you know, we talked a lot. I talked to, you know, I'm upset about my weight gain and my eating again. And she said, but are you hungry or is it food noise? If it's food noise, you need to go do something. Take your mind off of it. She goes, you go in your room, you scream in a pillow. Go outside and scream. Go for a walk. Do something that you like to do that will take your mind off of it. The food is one of my triggers for everything. And so that one's hard. That one's hard. But, yeah, I really liked her. She listened to me. She answered questions. And she shushed Scott. Scott talked about a few things that had nothing to do. We were talking about my steps. You know, I told her, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to eat better. I said, I've been buying stuff to make stir fries and have my salads. And she goes, always eat your protein first. Okay, I can do that. But like the stir fries, I put the protein in it. But she says, always eat your protein first, then your vegetables. No more potatoes, she said. I said, that's hard. I like potatoes. She goes, no more French fries. I said, I don't like French fries anymore since they put me on the Manjaro. I said, I don't want the French fries. I said, I used to love Doritos. I don't care. I don't care about, and I still don't care about any of that. It's just really, Food has always been a thing for me. It's my comfort food, no matter what my mood is. New Year's Eve, yes, I'll probably make my nachos, but I'll also make chicken wings. There's chicken wings I can have because I don't bread them. Um, and I don't know what Scott will want. He won't eat the nachos, but he'll eat the wings. So that I know I'll have. And Christmas Day, I'm not going to worry about what I have. But up until then, I will. So I'll be okay. I know my friends keep me motivated. You guys have all been there for me through all of this. You're like me against the hormone treatment and the chemo. I understand why I need the anti-hormone, because it needs to take the estrogen out because I have too much. But again, if I'm doing the chemo to keep me from getting cancer, do I have to have that? I don't want to have to do both. So, and she will tell me yes or no. She says, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you like it is. And if I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. And I said, that's what I need. So, yeah. It was really, really good. She said, now the next appointment, she says, if the roads are shitty, please call. We'll do a Zoom. She goes, that's just another consultation to let you know what the test said. She said, but your radiation treatments, and if you're doing chemo, you cannot miss those. You have to come in any way that you can get here. I said, okay. So, yeah. There's that. There's that. So that's everything that's going on with me. I didn't want to lie to you guys. You guys need to know what's going on, especially if I do go on the anti-hormone therapy. My mood swings are going to be all over. Who knows what my videos are going to be like. I might be ranting and raving about something that's so stupid to you guys. You're like, why is she mad about that? That makes no sense. You're going to have to bear with me for the next 5 years. So if I don't come into Zooms, it's nothing personal against anybody. It's because I was having a bad day. I will try to go into Zoom. I might have to warn you guys. And you guys might have to call me out on my shit if I go in and I'm in one of those moods. It just is what it is. And Scott's always easygoing and everything. He's going to have to be more patient and put up with my bullshit. Next year, my cross stitching is going to be crazy. I can do it. And she said, just by listening to me, and I told her I'm doing this walking, and I've been outside. Today's not outside. Today we're getting 2 to 4 inches. It's snowing pretty good, I think. Still, it's snowing real lightly right now. We already have like 2 inches. The road's covered. I will not walk on our road. We do not have sidewalks. I'm way out in the country. There's no sidewalks. I do not want to get hit by a car, and I do not want snow and slush splashed up on me. So, I'm just going to walk in the house. I walk in place. I have my Fitbit. It hasn't been working. Most of the time, it's what this says on here says exactly what the Fitbit app says for amount of steps. But it's no longer keeping track of my sleep. And it did for the first 2 nights, but it stopped. It says I have to wear it loose and about 2 fingers from the bone, which I did. So I had moved it, and it still wasn't keeping track. So I don't know why. It's not keeping track of anything but my steps and the miles of the steps. That's it. So, And I don't want to pay for Fitbit Premium. I already paid for enough apps. The TV apps, Kindle Unlimited, Audible. I don't need another. I used to, but and it's $10 a month, but I don't want to right now. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'll let you guys go. I probably gave you more information than you needed, but women need to know. Yes, get your mammogram. I have not had a pap smear done in years. I know I wasn't getting them every year because I had the partial hysterectomy. I still have my ovaries. So I had the partial hysterectomy, so they don't really need to do the pap smears often. I stopped going. I had a doctor. I loved him. He delivered my boys, and then he passed away. I had to get a new one. They had a new doctor take over his office, and I never made an appointment. For some reason, something told me to hold off, which I'm glad I did, because I found out that he got in trouble and lost his license. He was doing something wrong in the office. So he must have done something, maybe sexually, something in the office. So I'm glad I never went. So then I found another office in Batavia. I went to, there's a couple gynecologists in there. The one I saw, I liked her a lot, and then I got a notice that she left the office. Well, I don't know what office she had gone to. And I didn't like that office. I didn't like the people in the office. So I'm like, well, I need to find another one. I never did. Well, I did some searching. I found one. And after I'm all done with all of this stuff, I will make an appointment and start going there. So it's got like 6 or 7. They're gynecologists, obstetricians in there. That's all it. It's all women. So and they deal with anything from teenagers on up to elderly. So I will start making an appointment for that. But I'm waiting until all of this is done. So yeah, make sure you guys check yourself. That's how I found the lump. I found it. It wasn't there a couple days beforehand. So I was lucky. I caught it early. It was stage 1. Yeah. So anyways, I will let you go. Love you guys. Y'all have a great day. Bye.